Hello and welcome back to my channel Lady T. My name is Natalie and we are going to continue with Professor Layton and the Curious Village. Our story so far: after witnessing Ramon's abduction before their very eyes, Luke and Professor Layton are shocked to see him return to Reynold Manor on his own. Yeah, it was very odd. I do have a theory and I've started to remember the story, so I'm not going to tell you too much about what I think. Thank you, Carter Jr. And another puzzle charm. Looks like you fellows are getting used to sickness there. But stay sharp. Believe you me, you'll be buried in all sorts of difficult puzzles before you can shout "Stachs en scarven." By now I'm sure you've realized that you can retry the puzzles you failed to solve, eh? However, have you noticed how some puzzles just seem to vanish before you can get back to them? That's right, you see, that's the way it is with some things in life. Once they're gone, they're gone. For good. But rest at ease, you two. Those puzzles you thought had vanished have merely moved elsewhere. You must seek out Granny Riddleton's shack. It's a strange old building, so it should be easy enough to spot. But don't get sloppy just because you know how to retry puzzles now. There's no honor in laziness. Now that you've got a lowdown on the village puzzles, let me throw one your way to keep you sharp. The Lazy Guard. The local museum has an exhibit that spans 9 rooms as shown in the diagram below. The entrance to the complex is marked A and the exit is marked B. The security guard on duty is a bit lazy and wants to walk each room of the exhibit while turning as few times as possible. What is the fewest number of turns he can make while still visiting every room? As an example, the diagram below shows a course that involves 6 turns. Because you can't go like this, because then you have to go back and he doesn't want to do that. So maybe this is already the best option. So this takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, also 6. So that is a whole darn lot easier. You can... Is it going to count this? Are we being cheeky or is this going to work?
Luke, here's my answer.
We're being cheeky, but it works. That's right, if the security guard takes a path like the one shown above, he can finish his patrol of all 9 rooms in just 2 turns. It's easy to be influenced by the fact that the example path shows the guard turning right angles to go from room to room, but you don't need to follow that example. Yeah, now that's what I like to see. Seems the training I've been giving you has paid off. No need to thank me. Anywho, be seeing you around. So, there we go. I'm really curious as to what is going on again. And I'm also gonna want to see if we have things left here. Okay, so far we seem to be doing well on that front. Hello again. Hey, Professor. Looking busy as usual, I see. Oh, I've got this puzzle I just can't work out on my own here. Can you lend me your thinking cap? I have a hat for you. Below are 6 linked rings. They may look like a tangled mess, but there is one ring that, if cut away, would leave the remaining 5 rings connected end to end in a long chain. Which one must you cut in order to make the chain? Choose one answer from below. I feel like it's going to be B. Because... No, because C isn't connected to F. Does it need to be? Yeah, it does. So it's not B. We need B. If we cut A, I feel like it's going to be C or F then. Because if you got C, it might be C then. No, that doesn't work either. C and F don't work. If he got E... No, because F isn't connected to C. Then it has to be D.
That should do it. Another puzzle solved.
Good job. If you examine the connections for each ring, the answer is surprisingly easy, isn't it? A little bit. Ah, so that's how you do it, yeah? I can finally rest at night. This thing was annoying me for days. Let me tell you something odd. And by odd, I mean really terrifying. The thing is that I've actually seen that old man with the big sack coming out of the tower up north. I bet you anything you like that he is the one behind all these disappearances. I wonder what he does up there. Wait, no, I don't even want to think about it. It's just too scary. I mean, it's really convenient that it is so scary, isn't it? Because no one goes up to check. It's quite a pile. It's a good thing I have this bookshelf. Okay, you are happy with that. So that is all going well. Oh, hi. What's that on the ground? It looks like a scrap of notepaper. What does it say, Luke? Well, let's see here. Ahem. It's just terrible. Lady Viola has an awful case of the flu and hasn't left her bed for days. I'm no doctor, so I can't think of any way to help her. Oh, what to do? What to do? Lady Viola. Oh, this entry must be talking about Baron Reinald's first wife. My heart is heavy as I write these words. The loss of his wife has completely crushed the boss. If only there was something I could do to help. He walks around looking like he's had the wind knocked out of him. And that's the end. Gosh, whoever wrote this must have cared an awful lot for the Baron and his family. Is there a hint, Corner Boy? Thank you. Hey there, Professor. I bet you're here to solve my puzzle. I'm right, aren't I? Yeah, of course I'm right. Apparently you are. I hope so. It's a difficult one. Two boys are playing a game in which the goal is to take the longest route possible from point A to point B, as shown on the map below. The only rule is that no section of road can be traversed more than once. What course should they take in order to cover the longest distance possible between point A and point B? Well, then I would say just take the long way around, right? Maybe something like this? Or we maximize this a bit smarter. Take as many roads as we possibly can. I think that's going to be a little bit longer. It's an interesting game they're playing.
Luke, here's my answer. Every puzzle has an answer.
Nice work. Speaking of leisurely strolls, have you been outside today? If it's sunny, why not go for a nice walk? I've already done that. Thank you, game. Great job there, Professor. Even that puzzle didn't faze you, huh? Of course not. You're a pro. Yep, you're a real piece of work, Prof, you know what? Of course you do. You're a schooler after all. How do they know he's a schooler? That's another hint coin. Another charm. Maybe they were worried about not giving enough hint coins, so that's why you can have some more. Well, if it isn't Claudia out and about. And that reminds me of a puzzle. Give it a try, my boy. Weighing cats. Oh no. There are 3 different colors of toy cats, each color having a different weight. Examples 1 and 2 show their relative weights. You have 3 red cats and 4 black cats on one side of the scale, and 4 white cats and 1 black cat on the other. Given this setup, what will the scale do? Well, the black cats are lighter than the white ones, but not by much. I think 3 are going to be, the red ones are going to be the heaviest. Yeah, I think it's going to tip left then.
I think I've got it! I did it!
Yes. Great. Once you realize how you need to look at things, it's not a terribly difficult problem now, is it? So still worth 50 points, my dude. The cat was appalled and just left. I wonder what is going to show up. Are you trying to poison me? What are these vile things? You oaf, some butler you are. Don't be rude to Matthew. I'm so sorry, sir. I detest cakes. The very sight of them turns my stomach. Get that plate out of here at once. Oh, yes, but of course. That's so rude. Huh? Ah, Layton, there you are. You requested our presence, Inspector Chelmy? My sources tell me you've been out snooping about and interfering in my case. Just what are you up to? It certainly wasn't my intention to interfere in your case. However, a few things don't make sense. Leave the investigating to the police and go chase after that golden apple or whatever it is. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. I'll find Simon's killer. Of that you can be sure. Now, unless you have something else to say, I've got work to do here. Understood. Good day, sir. That inspector has some nerve dismissing us like that. Like I said before, I don't like him one bit. What do you say we ask Ramon about yesterday, Luke? Things are clicking for him already, at least. Chelmy was shouting at Matthew for bringing him cakes when we arrived. And he was also angry that we've been conducting an investigation that runs parallel to his own. As much as I'd like to help find Simon's killer, there are other matters we should attend to first. Namely, checking in on Ramon to see what, if anything, he remembers of last night. He didn't seem to remember anything last night. Oh, Professor, you just simply have to help me. I've got another puzzle on my hands I just can't solve. As a man of the world, you know there's nothing women find more alluring than competence. I'm counting on you, sir. Don't do me to an eternal bachelorhood. Well, I think you're dooming yourself to that, my man. The cross shape on the pin board below has 9 pins inside it and 16 outside it. Remember that example, because now it's your turn to conduct a shape on the board. Can you create a cross that has 70 pins inside it and 16 out and 17 in? Feel free to make your cross any size you like. Good heavens. I think we're going to turn it. Right? Does that work? No, for the cross we also have to do this here. Does that work? 1, that's 3, 3. That's 12 plus 4. Yes, actually.
There we go. Another puzzle solved.
That's right, this puzzle is easy once you work out that the cross needs to be placed diagonally on the board. Sometimes the only thing you really need to solve a puzzle is a little creative thinking. Thanks, old boy. With this puzzle solved, I feel I'm one step closer to the altar. You first need a woman for that. Or a man, whatever you prefer, but... You seem to... want to talk to women. Oh dear, I'm stumped again. And I just know I'll never find a bride of my own if I don't solve this puzzle. I'll spend my golden years alone, with only the smell of cats and boiled sweets to keep me company. I beseech you, Professor, help me solve this puzzle. This dude. Wood cutouts. You have a single sheet of balsa wood as shown in the diagram below. Your job is to cut the wood along the dotted line so that you end up with 4 identical pieces. You can rotate the pieces after cutting, but you can't flip them over. So it's not going to be as easy as this and then this. Right, it's not going to be that easy. Because then you would have to rotate them, yeah. Oh, I see it. Yeah. Like that, and then you got these like that.
There we go. Every puzzle has an answer.
That's right, once you got to the shape of the pieces, it wasn't so difficult. But it wasn't all that easy to find them within the wood, was it? Oh, happy day! With that puzzle out of the way, I'm confident that no woman will be able to resist me. I'll be bidding my loneliness goodbye before I know it. At the rate that things have been going, I wouldn't say it. Hey, my dear old pal. Mr. Layton, you have some skill at solving puzzles, yes? I have a puzzle here that even I was momentarily troubled by. Let's see how you fare against it. Oh, you're starting to warm up to me. Oh no. A man made a rather unusual stipulation in his will regarding which of his 3 sons would inherit his estate. To the one who can work out the area of this triangular section of my estate, I bestow the entire inheritance. Now the man has passed away and his sons are at a loss. Finding the area of his perfectly square estate is easy, but no one can find the area of the triangle. Can you find the answer? No. Okay, we're cheating for this one because I'm just not good at math. We would be stuck here for ages.
That should do it. Critical thinking is the key to success.
I'm fine with it. Impressive, Mr. Layton. It seems the rumors touting your skill weren't totally unfounded. But don't go getting any ideas. Do the smart thing and leave the detective work to me. In the meantime, you can occupy yourself by searching for the golden apple. suppose the hint of mystery adds to any room. Okay. Seems to be happy with it. I think it's going to be Lady Viola. Oh, Professor, how fortunate that you're here at a time like this. I have a favor to ask of you. Please, madame, ask away. I'm happy to come to your aid in any way I can. Thank you, Professor. Could you solve this puzzle for me? If I'm not feeling up to the challenge, it won't solve itself. That's true. Puzzles don't tend to do that. A father and son are having a conversation. The father turns to the son and says, "You know, son, there was a time when I was twice the age of your mother. Of course, the next year I was only 1.5 times her age. But still, that's pretty amazing, eh? If the father is 44 years old, how old is the mother?" That might have been when they were still really young, you know? So if she was 1, then he would have been 2. Of course, the next year I was only 1.5 times her age. A year later she would have been 2. Then he would have been 3. So she's probably 33?
That should do it.
Yes.
Critical thinking is the key to success.
That's right, your mother's 33 years old. Yeah, I was right. Good. I solved something myself. What a relief. I can finally stop thinking about that silly puzzle. You have my thanks. The splendid painting is probably going to Layton. Good. Going to talk to Ramon. There you are. Good day, Ramon. How are you feeling today? First, fit as a fiddle now, Professor. Perhaps even as vivacious as a violin. Ahoo-hoo-hoo! That awful fatigue from last week seems like it never happened. As you can see, I'm bursting with energy and my skin is as soft as a baby's. I feel like a teenager again. Is that so? That's good to hear. He doesn't seem to remember what happened yesterday, does he? He has no idea what happened. So, what's our next move? We shall respect the inspector's wishes and leave the murder case alone, Luke. It's as Inspector Chelmy said, solving crime is the police's job. Besides, something tells me that this case and the Golden Apple are more related than we realize. That's that intuition of yours talking again, isn't it, Professor? First and foremost, we need to find a clue that will bring us closer to the Golden Apple. Perhaps one of Barona Reinhold's relations or close friends can help point us in the right direction. Of course, there's also someone else. Let's see if the butler has anything to say on the subject. The butler. The butler has always done it. The hunt begins, Chapter 5. It's finally time to start the search for the Golden Apple. Explores it must stare for clues. Yes, always save our progress. Hello, Matthew. Back so soon, Professor. Matthew, I was wondering if you knew anything that could point us in the direction of the Golden Apple. Anything you know would be a great help. For example, did the Baron say anything before he passed away? I'm so sorry to disappoint you, Professor, but the Master never said anything of the sort to me. I'd very much like to help you in your search, but my duties here prevent me from leaving the grounds. If only Ingrid was around to provide some assistance. I beg your pardon, sir? Ingrid? It's been years since she left, but Ingrid used to work as a servant in a mansion. She was Flora's nurse, and she often helped me with my work. Matthew! Yes, my lady. I'll be right there. Please excuse me, sir. The lady calls. Maybe that was the old woman on the picture we saw before. If you're curious about Ingrid, why not pay her a visit and talk to her yourself? Let's see, at this time of day I'd imagine she's out walking around by the village shop. Please do me a favor and tell her that I sent my regards. Certainly, I'll be sure to pass on your message. Thank you for all your help, Matthew. Isn't Ingrid that sweet old lady we passed by before? Indeed, we also saw her in that picture of young Flora. Come Luke, let's go and find the old girl. Off we go then. The village shop is just outside the manor, right? We'll be there in no time. Thank you for telling me where she is. There you are. Oh goodness me, if it isn't Mr. Layabout, was it? The name's Layton, madam. Oh, that's right, Mr. Layton. What can I do for you, sir? Earlier, we were talking with the butler at Reynold Manor, and he mentioned you used to work there. We'd very much like to hear anything you might know about the Baron. Heavens, you want to hear about the Baron? I'm afraid the only stories I have are from when I worked at the manor, and that was ages ago. That would be ideal, madam. Would you mind telling us one? All right, well, I suppose I could tell you a bit about the Baron and his former wife. The way Mr. Reynold and his wife would carry on, they almost seemed to be like children. You'd never see a man so in love as Mr. Reynold was. When she passed away, Flora was all the Baron had to remember her by. So he raised that little girl with all the love a child could want. The things he'd bring home for her, toys from all over the world and teddy bears as big as yourself. He was in high spirits in those days. He really wanted to give her all the affection in the world. So where has Flora gone? Your guess is as good as mine, sir. I have no clue where that girl went. She left the mansion well after I stopped working for the Reynolds. Some say Lady Dahlia put Flora on the street to keep the family riches to herself, but that's nonsense. After all, the Baron cared about Flora so much. I can't imagine that he'd allow something like that. You know, you just reminded me. The grave of the Baron's former wife is located in the manor garden. I wonder who takes care of it now. The Baron's former wife is buried in the garden. Thank you, madam. You've been extremely helpful. Look, let's head back to the manor. I have a feeling that the grave might hold a clue we've been looking for. That's going grim. Oh, hi. Oh, look, it's Matthew. Good day, Professor. Were you able to track down Ingrid? Yes, we did. In fact, we were just speaking with her. I mean, no disrespect, but she said the grave of the Baron's former wife lies on these grounds. Do you have any knowledge of this? Lady Viola's grave, sir? I was just about to visit it myself. Would you mind if you came along to take a look? Not in the slightest. Right this way. Here's the entrance, sir. Oh, it's a tomb. Please watch your step on the way in. Whoa. This is Lady Viola's grave. That man really loved her. Gosh, this place is really nice. It's not creepy at all. It's a little bit creepy. The late Baron, rest his soul, told me to keep this place in proper order, and I have tried to do so. Here sleeps Viola, my one true love. No pressure on the new one. This statue looks so much like Lady Dahlia, it's hard to believe it's someone else. Back when Flora was just a tiny little thing, Lady Viola used to take her to the park. Some of the flowers in the garden grew from the ones Flora planted here for her mother. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the Baron's diary. It should still be on the desk in my lady's room. It's possible that it might contain some information that could aid your search for the golden apple. My thanks, Matthew. I'll be sure to give it a once-over later. Now then, look, we'd best head back to Reynold Manor. This is getting so dark and so... I think he was just unable to... That would work with the whole robot thing theory I have. This must be the diary that Matthew spoke of. I have to admit, he seems to know where everything in the manor is. There's something about reading someone else's diary that just doesn't seem proper to me. Here, look, you do it. However, the investigation must continue, so... The craftsmanship of it is simply remarkable. It reminds me of my sweet Viola when she was alive. What do you suppose it refers to? Flora doesn't like the thing at all. I've seen her run away from it on multiple occasions. Recently she spends more time playing by dear Viola's grave than anywhere else. I'm sad to say I doubt Flora will ever take to it. I can't blame her, as I've changed its personality. I felt terrible forcing that change on Flora, but I just couldn't bear to see it like that anymore. Viola, there can never be another you. You were my first, my last, and my only. Changed? Its personality? I'm not sure what the Baron means, but this is clearly vital information. I collapsed some days ago and have been bedridden ever since. I feel as if I have failed Flora as a father. I can only hope that when I'm gone, the people of the village look after Flora and care for her as I did. You must have been terribly ill. It seems I am not long for this world, and the time has come for me to say goodbye to my little Flora. I've left everything in Bruno's care now. Flora, I pray you find happiness in this life. Who is Bruno? We don't talk about Bruno. I've disclosed the location of the secret place in a note that I've left with an old friend. It is my most fervent hope that the seeker of the golden apple finds it and grants my dearest wish. Professor! Baron Reinald's oldest friend. We must seek out this person, Luke. But Professor, how can we possibly find that person with nothing but this diary to go on? Haha, it's like I always say, Luke. Any good investigation starts on the street. We'll just have to ask everyone in the village about the matter. What? I mean, of course, you're absolutely right, Professor. Let's get to it. Of course, any good investigation also needs direction. Let's start out by asking Ingrid a few questions. She seems to know a great deal about Baron Reinald. That she does. I think she does. Were there new items here? Oh, convenient. Oh, look who it is. Professor Layton, was it? The name's Layton, madam. Oh, that's right, Professor Layton. All the talking about the mansion we did last time got me reminiscing, so I decided to stop by for a visit. But enough about me. By the look on your face, it seems that you have something you want to ask me. As a matter of fact, I do. Do you happen to know who Baron Reinald considered his close friends? His friends, you say? Well, he wasn't exactly what you'd call a social butterfly. I'm sorry, that's all I can remember. Oh, wait a moment. I do believe I saw that Sapone fellow pay a visit to the mansion a few times. Professor, could you be referring to that man we met? Ah, yes, the gentleman with the fancy little mustache. You should ask if he knows anything. Of course he doesn't. I would wager he's still hanging around that fork in the road just beyond the clock tower. Probably. I mean, he doesn't really do anything else with his day now, does he? You haven't been here for a while. Thank you, Koda Jr. As you've come to the village hall, I strongly advise you to follow procedure and solve this puzzle. Okay, sir. Oh my, it looks like someone has been writing nonsense on the blackboard again. It turns out, though, that under certain conditions, these strange equations are actually correct. 8 minus 6 equals 2, but 8 plus 6 also equals 2. Assuming the above to be true, what does 7 plus 6 equal? How do we get to 8 plus 6 is 2? Oh, do you mean like the only thing how you can get from 8 plus 6 is 2 is to look at it at a clock, right? Because 8 plus 6 is 14 and 14 equals 2 o'clock. So this should be 1.
Luke, here's my answer. Another puzzle solved.
You are correct. This puzzle is using your time as a framework. Yes. Thank you, that will do nicely. Now please vacate the premises. Poor cat and mouse are back. That cat and mouse seem to get along pretty well, don't they? Do you think so, Luke? I would have guessed the cat was tormenting that poor mouse. But if you say the two of them are friendly, I believe you. Of course, if it has to do with animals, leave it to me. By the way, Professor, have you heard this one before? Letters and numbers. According to the diagram shown here, A is 2, B is 3, C is 3 and D is 4. So what does E equal? Do you mean it like this? Because it's not corners. Maybe the size that are adjacent to it. Like you have 2. You have 3. Yeah, but then you aren't correct because you have 3 too.
There we go.
Well, it worked.
Has an answer.
Okay, so it had something to do with the touching. Gosh, I was sure I'd come up with a really good puzzle, but it was still too easy, I suppose. Just because it got solved doesn't mean it's too easy. Hey, hey, good afternoon, sir. Hey, I'll tell you a secret if you solve this puzzle for me. It's a really tricky one. Oh no. Each of these 5 people has borrowed money from one of the others, and each has lent money to one of the others. You know that none of them has lent money to more than one person, and none of them has borrowed money from someone that they have lent money to. You also need to know these facts. B borrowed money from A. E did not lend money to A. C lent money to D.
That should do it. Every puzzle has an answer.
Good. That's right, A borrowed money from D. If you trace the flow of money according to the stated conditions, the answer becomes obvious. Oh, you're smart. Okay, come closer so I can tell you my secret. I heard that all the people who get kidnapped feel a little sick right before they get taken. Yeah, we already know that. I bet the monster that lives up in the tower feeds his victim nasty food before it bounces. Oh, I bet it's like haggis ice cream with gravy jelly. Or maybe he just picks the weakest person to snatch. But why would he need all those people? Agreed. Hey mister, it's good to see you again. See, I'm totally stuck here and I could really use your help. My friend told me this puzzle the other day and I just can't solve the thing. Can you help me? Of course I can help you. 3 boys are talking about how many sweets they each have. B has the most. If C gave me 1 sweet, I'd have twice as many as A does. It would be better if B gave me 2 sweets, and we'd all have the same amount. How many sweets are there in total? If C gave B 1 sweet, I'd have twice as many. So maybe you have 3 then. Because then you would have 4. And then you would have 2. But he can give 1 away. And they wouldn't have the same amount. So what if you start off with 2? With 4? Twice as many. No, because then you can have twice as many. 5. You start off, then you become 6. But if you give 2 away, so then you have 1. So there are 9 in total.
That should do it.
Yeah.
Critical thinking is the key to success.
That's right there, Knight. We've already shown you how. Oh, is that all we had to do to work it out? Why didn't I think of that? Can you keep a secret? Don't tell Adareya you told me the answer, okay? Thanks, mister. Close friends of the Baron? Well, I myself had the pleasure of meeting Baron Reinhold a few times. But you weren't a close friend of his? Me? Haha, no, I was nothing of the sort. I see. Can you think of anyone at all who was friendly with Baron Reinhold? I might know someone. Actually, no, I don't. Or do I? Now let me think. I guess the poem can't really tell us much of anything. Yes, I'm afraid he was no help at all. I suppose that means we're back when we started. But at least we can be sure that this close friend we're after is a resident of Sidmaster. We mustn't give up, Luke. Let's continue to ask around. And he just ups and leaves too. Oh, there we go again. Professor, there's something on the ground here. You're right, it appears to be a scrap of paper. Will you check if anything's written on it? Sure thing. Let's see here. The boss complimented my latest model today. He's a good guy and he's given me a new sense of purpose. I'm sure this is my true calling. I want to perfect my skills so I can repay the man for his generosity. This sounds a great deal like a diary entry, doesn't it? Judging by how the writer uses the term the boss, I imagine he was under the employ of the Baron. I've constructed models to fit every situation, just like the boss asked me to do. I have to smile when I see how interested he is in them. That's the end of the entry. Do you suppose this person made some sort of models for a living? I do think so, yeah. Not being a member of high society myself, I've never so much as had a conversation with Baron Reinhold. Now, laddie, much as I'd like to keep chatting, I'm awfully tired. I think I need to go and lie down. Are you feeling unwell, sir? I'm just exhausted lately. It's that awful noise coming from the tower, you see. It's got so loud I can't sleep a wink at night. Do you know what's causing the noise? It's just a rumor, but I hear that every time that sound rips through Sidmaster, someone disappears. They say the ones who go missing are people who've been talking about feeling tired. But those who disappear are back before you know it, so it's probably just a load of poppycock. Whenever the noise occurs, someone disappears. Interesting. Do you think the peculiar sound has anything to do with that strange old man who kidnapped Raymond? It's certainly a possibility, isn't it? But why would he release his victims after going through the trouble of kidnapping them? Good question. You two are certainly crazy about puzzles, aren't you? Well, I've got a whopper of a puzzle for you. number of 5-sided shapes are hidden within the pictures below. How many can you find? Answer when you think you found every hidden shape.
There we go. Another puzzle solved.
3 different types of pentagons are hidden in this picture. Since each shape can face 4 different directions. Oh, that's how we got to it. What canny lads you two are. I hope you'll stop by and solve puzzles with me again sometime. Thank you. He's here again. Are you happy to see me? Hey Professor, did you find what you were after? Never mind that though, I've got something more important to talk about. Namely chocolate. Help me solve this puzzle and I'll tell you something I bet you'll find very interesting. About chocolate or about this case? You have a hankering for chocolate, so you buy a huge sheet of 30 chocolate squares. The sheet is 5 squares long by 6 squares wide. You can only break the chocolate at the lines that run between squares and you aren't allowed to stack multiple segments on top of each other. Keeping those rules in mind, what is the fewest number of times you'll need to break the chocolate in order to separate each of the 30 chocolate squares? Well, you don't need to break all 30.
Luke, here's my answer. Every puzzle has an answer.
Now it makes sense. Okay, now about the total info I promised. If you want to experience the best dining in Simaster, you've got to check out Crouton's restaurant. Everything it makes is yummy. Don't even get me started on the stews. You have to try it yourself. Oh, there we go. You there. Yes, you. Do you mean me, good sir? Yep, you. This flower face is yours, right? I've been keeping it nice and safe for you. It's not mine, but... I've never seen anyone just forget something like this while shopping. I'm sorry, but you must be mistaken. I've never seen that face before in my life. What? This fancy face doesn't belong to you? So why did man tell me to give this to you? Huh? What did this man look like? Oh, he was standing there. Well, my head is a way of obscuring certain details for me. It's the worst, I tell you. Ha ha. But back to the issue at hand. The mystery man wasn't a regular around here, that's for sure. Don't worry though, I'll just give it back to the guy next time I see him. So speaking of flower faces, I know a puzzle I bet you'll like. It's not a hard one or anything, but it's the least I can do for bothering you about the face. I don't mind keep holding on to it. Oh, I just have to fix it. Mixed in with the pieces a single piece from a different face. Of course there is. There's always, isn't there?
That should do it.
I was going to say this sounds too easy, but... You've got a good head on your shoulders. I'm impressed. By the way, you sure you don't want to take some fresh sausage home with you? Believe me, there are some links you don't want to be missing. Haha. No, thank you. It's just fine. Too bad. Not to bust your chops or anything, but the deal was a one-time offer. Maybe you'd said yes if you knew what was at stake. Haha. I think we're done here, Luke. I couldn't agree more, Professor. They were good jokes. Poor old man. That piece of paper there on the ground is really big. Oh, a customer. Welcome, welcome. I have some great deals on sausage today. I must cured steak will make any plate a fashion plate, haha. Sorry to disappoint you, sir, but we didn't come here to shop. Oh, and here I was thinking I was about to get a big sale. You've got a hungry look about you, you know. Well, if I can't interest you with any of my fine meat products, can I at least tempt you with a puzzle? Always. Okay. Somebody ate the butcher's sausages. Here's what these 4 boys have to say. B ate the sausages, D ate them all up, I didn't eat them, B is lying. Only one of these rascals is telling the truth, and all the others are, needless to say, lying. Can you work out who ate the sausage? Well, B and D can't both be correct. But they can both be lying. If D is lying, then D is telling the truth, right? B is telling the truth, I mean.
There we go. Critical thinking is the key to success.
C ate the sausages, and the only person telling the truth here is D. If you assume A to be the culprit, both C's and D's statements must be correct. Okay. Hey, you're pretty good at this. As a bonus for solving my puzzle, I'll throw in some gossip I heard. Word is that somebody lives in that dark roomy tower. You'd have to be a real oddball to want to live in that old moldy wreck of a place. What kind of loot just throws rubbish on the ground? I'm going to pick it up. It's an old newspaper. Honestly, you'd think that everyone would know that rubbish goes in the bin. Wait a second, you have to take a look at this article. Well, would you look at that? It seems to be Inspector Chelmy. Haha, look at that. Chelmy hailed his brilliant detective and devoted husband. Chelmy hailed his brilliant detective and devoted husband. Chelmy celebrates each successful case with his favorite treat, his wife's cakes. But he didn't want a cake back at the manor. And how did he get in anyway, in the village? Whoa, who saw that one coming? He's so gruff that I never imagined he had a soft side like that. Just look at that old grump grinning over his plate of cakes. I knew he was fussing over nothing when he said he hated cakes back at Reynold Manor. That's right, look, he did say that. How very curious. Though Xiaomi claims to dislike all sweets, a scrap of newspaper Luke found claims that his favorite food in all the world is cakes. That being the case, why did Xiaomi fly into such a rage when Matthew brought him cakes at the manor? Agreed. Wonderful face, late 18th century if I'm not mistaken. So, is it true what I'm hearing about the two of you? Are you really searching the village for the Reynold fortune? That's correct, sir. Currently we're in search of a close friend of Baron Reynolds. We believe he has entrusted his friend with an important note. Gracious, that's quite a research you have on your hands. Oh, excuse me, my name is Archibald. Gus, I mean. The Baron and I were great friends, thick as thieves. We used to have the most amazing conversations late into the night. Do you think that perhaps I am the one you're searching for? Yes, I think so. What luck that after all this searching we should bump into you in a place like this. I have one question. Do you recall ever receiving a small note or written message from the Baron? No, I don't remember ever receiving anything of the sort from Gus. But he did give me a fine desk that once belonged to him. It's at home. Maybe it holds some kind of clue. The Baron's desk, you say? Excellent! Would you like to come over to my house and take a look at it? You are most gracious. If you'd be kind enough to allow us to look at it, we would be very grateful. I'm sure Gus wouldn't mind two fine puzzle lovers such as yourselves looking over his desk. Actually, let me impart a few pearls of wisdom on you while I've got your attention. Focusing on your case is all well and good, but if you don't solve some puzzles, you'll be sorry later. So make an effort to find puzzles around the village and just solve the ones you can. Take it from this old-timer, it's good to stop and smell the puzzles sometimes. Alright, we'll get off my high horse now. Let's head on over to my house. Follow me. This is Gus's old desk. Take all the time you need to examine it. Splendid. Look, let's get right to it. That's curious that it just happens to show up. Look, Professor, there's a hidden puzzle here. I'm sure you won't mind if I solve it. In front of you are 4 tangled lengths of rope. Mark the ones you think will form a knot when you grab them by their ends and pull them taut. I think A will. B won't. C, let me take a quick look. I think C will too. And D probably not then?
I think I've got it! Professor! I've solved it!
Good job. The only thing you need to do to solve this puzzle is look at it. However, the images themselves are complicated, so it's easy to get confused. It would be fun to test all the various configurations with actual pieces of rope. Phew, that puzzle was no pushover. Okay. Oh, we have hint coins here too. Oh, and a puzzle solving charm. That's not even hidden. It seems to be a note. It may point us in the direction of the golden apple. What do you make of this X? I'm afraid I just don't know at the moment. Chapter 5 completed. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just received a call for you from the innkeeper, Beatrice. It seems she's concerned about one of her guests, and she'd like your thoughts on the problem. Well, we'd best go and help her. Thank you, Archibald. Now off to the inn we go, Luke. Oh, this is your home. Hey, lady. Welcome back, Professor. I've been so looking forward to your return. Thank you. Was there something you wish to discuss with me? Oh my, yes. Listen to this. One of the guests here just performed a dose and dash routine on me. The man's gone, and so are all his things. I'd like you to bring him back. I'm a businesswoman, after all. How can I run a business with scoundrels running around on their bills like this? Would you mind if I looked around the man's room? Please do. Look at it all you want. Here, I'll show you in. Whoa, yuck! What an absolute pigsty. This whole place stinks of smoke and there's rubbish everywhere. Beatrice, can you describe this guest's appearance on me? Well, he had a sharp mustache, and it was pretty clear he wasn't from around here. That was obvious. A mustache. Reeks of smoke? Oh! Do you suppose she could be talking about Inspector Chelmy? Inspector Chelmy? Isn't he the self-imported windbag who's been up at Reynold Manor? No, that's not him. The man who stayed here just looks so much more evil. He was wearing a long trench coat. I'm sure you know the type. Oh, where could he have run off to? Sorry to ask this, Professor, but would you be a darling and find the thief who skipped out on his bill? I guess so. Be a darling and find the thief who skipped out on his bill. Honestly, how are we ever going to make progress in a search for the golden apple? Things aren't looking good. No one knows anything about the item in question, and we have no leads. I'm beginning to wonder if this golden apple that everyone is in a flap over even exists. Now look, I wouldn't say we're without any leads. Think, my boy, there's a place in St. Mustair that every villager has warned us to stay away from. What do you mean? The tower, Luke. No matter who we ask, no one seems to know a thing about the place. But suppose for a moment that the tower has something to do with the golden apple. Then it follows that the people of St. Mustair, scared to go near the tower, wouldn't know anything. Of course, we need to investigate the tower. The tower marks the far northern border of St. Mustair. Let's search the road north of the market for a route to the tower. Chapter 6, The Elusive Tower. Search the village for a path to the tower. We are going to do that in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you have an amazing day. Goodbye.